Hold up.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy298 here, and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on my channel. Today we are back here with round 7 of my F1 2016 career mode, season 3 with Red Bull Racing. And as you can see, we've got an R&D event. This time I actually showed it on the screen so you guys can see it here. And we got an extra drag upgrade for the car, so you can see that we're going to be, getting less drag down the straights, giving us a better top-end speed. As you can see from the competitors update, a lot of upgrades being made by some teams, and even Mercedes-Benz are back at it with some more upgrades to keep the challenge between me and Mercedes alive. And then we've got some upgrades from many more teams, including the likes of Manor there, with some of the upgrades. But in the vehicle performance comparison chart, we are still in front of Mercedes-Benz. Ferrari are yet to make a single upgrade in this entire season, with Williams just further behind. In the drivers' standings, we have got 125 points after we have won 5 of the 6 Grand Prix, and we only failed to score the points in the Spanish Grand Prix, which you guys would have seen. Also, guys, if you haven't checked out my previous video from today, I did a Call of Duty Infinite Warfare gameplay showing how much of a noob I was at the game and how I'm absolutely rubbish in every way possible. If you wouldn't mind going and just checking it out, that would be absolutely awesome. And tomorrow, I will be doing another Call of Duty video followed by Formula 1. However, tomorrow's video will be on Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. So I've got an absolutely amazing gameplay that I wanted to show. So yeah, stay tuned for that one tomorrow, and also F1 again. Yeah, I hope you guys do check out the Call of Duty or the non-F1 videos. I know F1 is my biggest series right now, and this is where my fan base is coming from. But it would just mean a lot if you wouldn't mind just checking out some other gaming videos that I do produce, because at the end of the day, I still class myself as a gaming channel, not an F1 channel, even though I produce loads of F1 content. So if you wouldn't mind just going and checking them out, it would be absolutely awesome, and it would mean a lot. So thank you for that. So anyway, as you can see, the track acclimatization, or I don't even need to say it, we passed every single practice session, which was perfect. So we got maximum resource points. I don't think we'll be making a single upgrade for today's episode, due to the fact that we have very little resource points in offer after we spent it all on the second drag upgrade. So when it comes to the next race in Baku, we don't expect to be seeing any new upgrades on the car. Looking at the qualifying goals, you can see that they want us to do what was on the screen just then, and hopefully we can get along quite nicely. So coming down into the final chicane here and towards the Wall of Champions there on the right, which technically if I hit the Wall of Champions I'd be claimed as it because I'm the world champion twice in this game. So as you can see, we set the fastest lap here in Q1, but that wasn't quite the fastest. In fact, my teammate Riccardo, Hamilton and Rosberg all beat my lap time there in Q1. But at the end of the day, it's Q1, so it's not too much of an issue. Into Q2 we go. The clouds have come over and it's now overcast here at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. However, it doesn't really matter for us. As Hamilton goes through and sets the fastest lap, we come through and set an even quicker lap. And of course, we're taking that really short run to the finish line there by not like curving outwards to the left of the circuit. We're just staying straight, so we're taking a better angle from across the start finish line, which is giving us that extra bit of a couple of tenths of a second that we're using at the moment. As you can see then, coming into Q3, the sun is back out again, so those cloudy conditions have soon passed. Taking those chicanes as hard as we possibly can, opening the DRS. You can see there, normally you go to the left-hand side to take the best run into turn 1, but we're not doing that because we have just gone and smashed the fastest lap so far, which was about 2 tenths quicker than my teammate Daniel Ricciardo. He did put in a second lap time, which was only 9/100ths of a second slower than what I did produce. However, at the end of the day, it was not going to be enough for Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to take pole position for the second race in a row, and it's a Red Bull front row for the second race in a row as well. Looking at all the driver stats here, you can see that I'm now in front of Lewis Hamilton. And in the driver position, we're still in that purple area, which is where we want to be. Listening into the session objectives then, nothing really to talk about in the session objectives. They're going to be on the screens right there. But that's it then for all of the practice and qualifying. Let's get into the main event, which is the race for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Canada has a true love affair with Formula One. The grandstands here are always packed to capacity. It's a country that has given us the likes of Gilles and Jacques Villeneuve, the thrilling Grand Prix of '79, of '98 and of course 2011. They love their motorsport in Montreal and we absolutely love coming here. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. It's a favourite for fans and drivers alike then here in Canada. We're used to seeing the unexpected happen here, and with me today to enjoy it all is Anthony Davidson, a man who knows firsthand the surprises that can pop up in this race.
I do indeed. I had a good chance at some points here in 2007, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. My old colleague Takuma Sato, though, he managed to finish 6th, so the team took home 3 valuable points, and that was a big boost to everyone at the time. I'm not sure I can think of anywhere else that so consistently provides the kind of late race excitement we get here. Obviously, towards the end of the Grand Prix, the brakes are getting worn, maybe the weather situation has changed, so there's a lot to keep fighting for all the way up to that final corner.
Okay, remember to protect the inside on the run down to turn 1. Make yourself as wide as possible, robust but fair.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. It's Red Bull in pole position then, with Daniel Riccardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Rosberg, Sebastian Vettel and Raikkonen, Bottas, Hülkenberg, Perez and Felipe Massa, Alonso, Grosjean, Jenson Button and Gutierrez, Sainz, Magnussen, Daniel Kvyat and Jolyon Palmer, Wehrlein and Harry Anto, Marcus Ericsson and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Alright then guys, so as you can see we are here on the grid now for this Canadian Grand Prix. We're going to be starting off on the purple marked ultra soft tyres, and then we're going to be doing a stint on the yellow marked soft tyres, so the hardest compound, to take us to the end of the race. So we're not going to go full aggressive in this strategy. Of course, you can see my teammate Daniel Ricciardo actually qualifies on the red marked super soft tyres, so he's going to be going longer in his first stint and then going to the yellow marked soft tyres for the end of the race. But as you can see, we are on the grid here for this Canadian Grand Prix. It is 5 red lights and it is lights out, and away we go for this Canadian Grand Prix. A good start from us indeed here, as we're going to be making a charge now down towards someone. Daniel Ricciardo behind us. He's not actually going to be taking anything there. In fact, we are able to take the leads and stay in the lead here going into turns 1 and 2. My teammate Riccardo, though, is still right there, really close to us, but luckily we have got the power of this Red Bull car. Also, we've got some quicker compound of tyres than my teammate Riccardo, who's on a slower compound of the super soft tyres. But coming around the end of the first sector, everything going on my way at the moment, with myself leading from Daniel Ricciardo from Nico Rosberg, who also qualified on the super soft tyres. So a bit of a split strategy among the teams. Lewis Hamilton qualified on the ultra soft tyres like myself. However, Rosberg and Ricciardo, our teammates of each other's teams, have gone in different ways. So split strategies for the top 2 teams. So coming now down towards the hairpin, you can see that the proximity arrow from Daniel Ricciardo has now faded away, meaning that we are slowly beginning to pull away from Daniel, which is crucial because we need to, because we are on that faster compound tyre. And if he is going to be going a little bit longer, we want to take advantage of our slightly more aggressive strategy while we can. So coming down the long back straight now, you can see Daniel Ricciardo is actually starting to lose track with us already here on his super soft tyres. They're going to take a little longer to warm up and get into their prime, whereas ours will be quicker. However, of course, our tyres will degrade quicker than those super soft tyres. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and just like in Monaco, we got off the line perfectly, defended our lead into turn 1, and all is fine here at the Red Bull side of things. So having a look at the replay of the start then, Kimi Raikkonen in the Ferrari actually got a horrific start there, losing 3 places to both Force Indias and the Williams of Felipe Massa, I think that is. However, for us up front, it was all nice and clean, a very good and comfortable start with the likes of Ricciardo, Rosberg, and then Hamilton. And then Williams, they're actually battling with the Ferrari. So interesting to see Ferrari struggling and being pulled back into the clutches of the Williams in this championship. But you can see the top 4 just all sweeping through into the first sector, nice and comfortably there. You can see that we're getting past everyone nice and quickly. However, at this stage in the race, it's fairly early stage, but you can see that my teammate Ricciardo is pressurising me quite a bit in this middle sector. Definitely Ricciardo was quicker in the middle sector, and then Lewis Hamilton pressurising Nico Rosberg. Of course, Hamilton is on the quicker ultra soft tyres, so he definitely wants to get past his teammate Rosberg, and he wants to get past Ricciardo, because at the moment, theoretically, the only person who can challenge me at the moment up front is going to be Lewis Hamilton in this stage of the race, because he's on the same compound tyre as me, and he's got a much quicker car. Even though we're top of the performance comparison charts, at the end of the day, I still find the Mercedes to be the better car. So down into the chicane we go. You can see the gap between myself and Riccardo all ready to begin to pull away as we enter the end of the first lap. And Raikkonen there still behind the two Force Indias, so a lot of work for Ferrari to do in this Grand Prix. Moving on to lap 3 of the Grand Prix, you can see that Lewis Hamilton has actually got past Nico Rosberg, but Pascal Wehrlein is unfortunately out of the race for Mana Mercedes. We're going to go and have a look at what happened to Pascal. So as you can see, he's fighting here with Esteban Gutierrez around the outsides here, and then he just goes and clips the wall there. It's a bit of a bad angle. I'm going to show another one. So he's fighting with Gutierrez. He's going to give Gutierrez the inside line, but he's put too much into it, and he's actually gone straight into the wall. A really silly mistake there from Pascal, and unfortunately that actually caused a virtual safety car to come out for us in this Grand Prix. So Pascal's incident, I was kind of hoping for a full safety car rather than a virtual safety car, because I would have literally come into the pits at the end if it was the full safety car, and I would have gone and chucked on a set of the soft tyres and taken those to the end of the race. However, it was only a virtual safety car, so we just have to deal with it and carry on. But you can already see that the gap between myself and Riccardo is increasing quite dramatically, and Lewis Hamilton at this stage is battling hard with Daniel Ricciardo, so we definitely need to keep an eye on it. Moving on to the end of lap 5 of this Grand Prix, Hamilton has come into the pits already, and he's gone for the undercut once again on myself in this Grand Prix, just like he did in Monaco, and just like Ricciardo did in Monaco, in fact. They've all gone for the undercut on myself, but of course Ricciardo and Rosberg are on a set of super soft tyres, so we'll be going a little bit longer, so the undercut won't be effective for them because they're going longer on their first stint, but Lewis Hamilton definitely is going to be one that we need to work and watch out for. Coming out of the pits then, you can see we've got the Renault of, I believe, is Jolyon Palmer there, and luckily for us, we actually got out in front of Palmer, so we don't need to worry about what Jolyon's going to be doing behind, and I believe they said that Jolyon had some sort of a problem, so he was definitely going to be slower, I think it was, so we don't really need to worry about Jolyon being any sort of problems. However, onto lap 11 of the Grand Prix, Ricciardo has made his first and one and only pit stop. However, in the second phase of the race, the tides have turned. I was faster in the first stint. However, in the second stint, Daniel Ricciardo has suddenly sprung into life in that Australian car, and he fancies to battle me for the lead of this Grand Prix. So here we go. He's got the DRS here. He's going to go over to... I gave him the outside line into the initial part of the chicane here, but Ricciardo alongside myself here, we're making the late braking move down into the chicane here, and we're going to take and maintain the lead of this Grand Prix. And Ricciardo there, very close behind us indeed, as we're now coming towards the end of this lap. And now Ricciardo once again wants a challenge, just going into turn 1. He's going to have the outside line, sorry, into turn 1. So we need to get this sorted here into turn 1 and defend the inside into turn 2. And we do that just perfectly there. On to lap 12 of the Grand Prix now, and Daniel Ricciardo's still there. This is a little bit further on from the clip that you just saw previously. And he's decided that he wants to do a bit more scrapping here. So Daniel Ricciardo got a very good exit there. He's actually going to go for a move here. He's got enough space and pace to do it. And we're going to defend the inside line this time. And Daniel Ricciardo just not going to find a way past there, as we're going to fend him off quite rapidly with this onslaught that seems to be coming on from Ricciardo. Suddenly, he sparked into life, and he wants this win now here in Canada. Of course, Ricciardo is yet to win a race this season, and quite frankly, has been outshone by me this season. So Daniel definitely wants a bit of revenge, and he's going to get it. He could get it anyway. So as you can see now, he's coming down the long back straight here. He has got DRS, but Ricciardo just isn't quite close enough this time, and it allows me to brake and get onto the racing line, so I don't really need to take a defensive line into the chicane here. Daniel Ricciardo closing up again, but he just wasn't close enough. Skipping ahead to lap 15 of the Grand Prix now, so we have actually got a little bit further, so I was able to stop Ricciardo from threatening me for a couple of laps, but Ricciardo's come back at me, and we're at this same location again. Ricciardo, once again, I'm going to give him the outside line into this corner because I can defend well down the inside into this difficult chicane here, and that's exactly what we do there, getting straight past Daniel Ricciardo with ease, and we don't need to worry about him. As you can see there, the flashing light on the back of my car, meaning that I'm reharvesting my battery pack as we look to try and defend even more from Ricciardo. Down into the hairpin we go. We actually run a little bit wide, but it's not going to affect us too much on the exit, as we're going to get a little bit more pace out of the exit. Not lots, but a little bit more. But however, Ricciardo is still there. But this time, annoyingly for myself, Ricciardo is a lot closer on this pit straight, and he's actually going to get it done down into the chicane. However, we are going to do some super late braking maneuvers here, and down the inside we go. And Ricciardo bouncing over the curbs there, trying to keep it on the inside. There was no space for Ricciardo. He stuck in with it though. However, he bounced off the curbs and nearly and his race ended by going into the wall. Moving on to lap 17 of the Grand Prix though now, so of course after that move that Daniel Ricciardo did, which caused him to bounce over the curbs, he actually lost track of me for a lap, but a lap later, he's back on my tail again, and once again, we're going to do the same defensive maneuver because I rely on it, because it's definitely been working for myself. So once again, it's the inside into the chicane here. Nice corner cut, Fox. You can see that we're actually doing very well here to defend from Daniel Ricciardo, but he's actually not going to bother. He's going to go for it around the inside into the hairpin. He's going to try it here, Daniel Ricciardo. Down the inside into the hairpin. Can he make it stick? He does. Ricciardo makes it stick on the inside into the hairpin, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're just going to have to carry on, and down into the inside we go of Ricciardo. However, it's not over yet. Now Daniel's got DRS here, which is crucial. However, I'm going to stick in the slipstream on Ricciardo, and can we make a late braking move? We can't. Or in fact, we try it, but it's just not enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick in the slipstream on Ricciardo. I'm going to make a diving move down the inside into turn 1. So let's see how this pans out. And Hamilton, in fact, is closing in on this battle, and we're going to make that. This is what we were planning. Down the inside, can we get the car stopped? We can. And Ricciardo once again has failed to take the lead, but we're on to the last lap of the Grand Prix, and we are going to show the entire final lap of this Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton has now officially closed up right to the back of me and Ricciardo, as we've been battling so hard. Hamilton has just literally eaten into the lead, and there could be a threat now that this Red Bull 1-2 that we should have comfortably had may not be in the balance anymore with Lewis Hamilton right there, so we definitely need to worry about him. As you can see now, Ricciardo's going to do that same thing that he does every single time, but will it stick for him? No, it's not going to. He can't make it stick, and he's going to have to sit back a little longer as I run a little bit wider on the exit of the curb there, getting onto the grass just slightly, and Lewis Hamilton is right there now. He's literally so close as we run wide again. To be honest, this hairpin was a wide fest for me. However, let's see what happens now. As you can see, we're coming down the long back straight here. Ricciardo and Hamilton are both going to have DRS on myself. So here we go. Ricciardo's going to go to the outside line like I've always given him. However, Ricciardo has actually got the job done here. Does he know? I'm going to brake nice and late down the inside into the chicane and get the move done on Daniel Ricciardo. And coming across the pit straight here, we're going to take the win for this Canadian Grand Prix. An entire, well, that was the wrong thing to say really. A very entertaining second half of the Grand Prix. In the first half of the race, not a lot really happens, if I'm honest. However, into the second part of the race, definitely a lot of action. Christian Horner there, ecstatic as usual. That is going to be my 6th win of the season so far, out of 7 Grand Prix. So I've won 6 out of the first 7 races, which I'm really happy about, because in the mid-season, when we get to the likes of Britain, Germany and Hungary, and potentially even Belgium as well, they can tend to be weak circuits for me, just testing them out. Of course, the next race in Azerbaijan is definitely a weak circuit of mine. Austria is also isn't the best circuit for me. So right now we're in a good position because of course I've got some races coming up which are definitely a lot harder than I may expect. And I'm saying harder because I tried them on Ultimate AI before, but yeah, we were quicker than everyone in the first stint of the race. No one really could match us. However, in that second stint, Ricciardo just sprung into life on those soft tyres. Definitely quicker than myself. However, I wasn't going to let Daniel go through and win the race. I was going to fight him to the bitter end here, as this is a championship battle. And it's going to be a 1-2 for Red Bull Racing, which is absolutely perfect. Exactly what we needed here in Montreal. With Lewis Hamilton finishing in 3rd and Nico Rosberg 4th. And once again, just showing to you guys that all of this is done on Ultimate AI. Once again, I said it in the previous race in Monaco, because my YouTube channel is still growing, which I still can't believe at the moment. It's just really crazy and awesome to think and see. A lot of people still ask me the same things, like what assists you use and what difficulties you play on. So I'm just gonna keep showing you that I am playing on Ultimate AI for those that don't see it. So when they watch the video, they can see, oh yeah, he's on Ultimate AI. I don't need to ask the question. So stopped it from people trying to ask that. But anyway, in the driver's standings, we actually increase our advantage, of course, now, and in the constructor standings, a solid showing from Red Bull reignites our Constructors' Championship charge after, of course, when I DNF'd in, when I didn't score any points in Spain. Mercedes really took the fight back to us in that standings. But overall in the driver position, or the driver rivalry, Hamilton's in front of us by 1 point, and then overall everything, that's kind of it then. So I'm gonna that's it. So next race is gonna be in Azerbaijan. So if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.